Hi, in this chapter we will see how to create our first feature on our web application. So we will start from portfolio. In our portfolio section we will have some categories that we can create new one or we can delete even. For example, I have animals, nature and people. Okay, so the content is changing by the subject, right? The category. So here we will have the admin, and under the admin we will have the image category. So those are the categories. For example, if I want to create one, let's say test, the moment I create the test category, it should appear over here. Okay, and if I want to add a new category, so basically the portfolio section, as you can also aware or notice, there is admin button, and the admin button will not be available for all public users. For the moment I log out, it is no longer there, right? So in order to have that, we will have the user access and the type, or we will distinguish the user roles. So later in the upcoming videos we will also see them. Okay, let's see now how the portfolio section look like. For example, now when I go back to portfolio and I click to test, there is no results, right? Okay, so but if I go to portfolio section and for example there are animals, right? These are the animals. So the moment if I come here and create new one, and if I select an image from here, right, and then if I select the test, then it should come here under the test one, right? Okay, so before we start, so what we need? Well, we need to have the model, right? So we will have the model and then we will migrate them into our database. Okay, so let's start first creating our models. Okay, and in order to do that, you can just click right and add class. Okay, so the first one should be, let's say, image, right? So we will have images, right? Okay, add, and then we will also have the categories, image category. Okay, so now I want you to think of a second, right? So there is a relationship. Okay, so the image and the image category. So one image category may have more than one images, right? So it is one to many, right? So for the sake of time, I already created the class. Let me take this into the image, right? And I'll tell you how and why we are having this and the image category. Okay, let's start from the image class first. Okay, we will have the key here. I mean, if you are going to use, for example, in the MVC, like the naming, like image ID, then you don't really need to have the key over there, because the MVC can understand if this is a ID of this class or not. But if you are not using the representative like class name here as a prefix, then you should add this. Otherwise it will not identify if this is a principal or not. Okay, that's why I added. Okay, and then we will have the content. So the content may require some HTML, so in order to have them all across the web interactions in our um, program or the project, you should have the allow HTML as well. Otherwise it may treat as dangerous content, and it will prevent from updating or creating across the platform. Okay, we will have the alt text caption. So these all are up to you. So it may vary based on the project, right? So we will have the image URL as well, because we will have the URL, and then we will have also the folder later that we can create the pictures and locate them in our project. And the create date, image category ID, and image category. Okay, these are the important ones, right? So that means we will have for each image one image category, right? So that is required, and the category ID is from image category. When I go back to image category, so each image category, so this is the naming for the category, and one image category, as I said, is a list of the images, right? So it may be one image or more than one. Okay, so this is the classes, right? Okay, later I'll show you. So let's go back to let's check the web config first. Here, when you create the project, there you will see the default connection. So later, if you want to connect this to your, maybe the cloud database like Azure, Google, or like in your organization, you want to connect with the IP address. So you are supposed to change all this, but in default, I will use the default one, the inbuilt one. Here you will see the catalog name. For example, this is the project name. Also, this is the date that you created the project. For example, I'll tell this Ehla Ceramic DB project, like let's say, just to distinguish it from the other databases that I have. Okay, so I mean, you can leave it as is. That is also fine, but you can also change it, the way you wish to. Okay, just save it. And here we also need to connect to database in a way, right? So under the identity models, I will I will use the default connection here. So right after right before or after the application DB context, you can see that default connection must be exactly the same as this one. But if you have different connections, for example, let's come back here. But for some reason you may have different connections like that, right? 1, 2. So if you want to have more than one, or if you want to use for different connection the DB context, then you'll also need to change from here, right? Otherwise it will not recognize, or it may try to connect to other connection setting. Okay, so I'll make it as default and save it. Okay, just to make sure. Okay, this is as I wished. Okay, so here I'll have public image, but here, since this is going to be, it should be db set, okay, because here I will get more than one content. db set let's say image category. Okay, so far it's cool, but now we are missing one more item, or one more topic to talk, which is to create our database and migrate them all into database like SQL commands, right? So here you really don't need to know about what is SQL, or I mean, it is preferable, of course, if you know it, but if you don't know how to create a database, the tables, or how to make this, one-to-many relation, so really you don't really need to know that, have that knowledge. So I'll show you how quick it is to use the data enable migration, or the migration feature of .NET framework. Okay, so I'll see in the next episode how to create and the database, and how to migrate them all in our database. Okay, I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.